The arrival of the unknown. A thick veil of stars stretched endlessly before me as I adjusted the thrusters on my ship, the Horizon's Echo. I had been in deep space for nearly 2 years, surveying new star systems, but nothing could have prepared me for the distress signal that had pulled me off course. I wasn't supposed to be here. My name is Elias Varon, and I was, a scientist, not an interstellar hero. My mission was simple: scan, document, and return home. But when the signal came through my console, something about it felt different. It wasn't just a cry for help. There was something ancient in the frequency, something that sent a chill through my body the moment I decoded it. That's how I found myself orbiting an uncharted planet, its surface bathed in a golden glow beneath a pale blue atmosphere. The readings showed signs of life, massive energy fluctuations, intelligent structures, and something else. Something my instruments couldn't quite categorize. I hesitated before initiating descent, but curiosity won over caution. The ship trembled as I entered the planet's atmosphere, breaking through thick clouds before the terrain came into view. What I saw below took my breath away. Colossal spires of obsidian and silver stretched toward the sky, reflecting the soft light of the planet's twin suns. The city was ancient yet alive, humming with a silent energy that made my skin tingle. As I landed in an open clearing beyond the city, I barely had time to process my surroundings before movement caught my eye. A procession was approaching, a formation of towering figures clad in ornate armor, their faces hidden beneath metallic masks. At the center of them was a woman, unlike anything I had ever seen before. She stood at least a head taller than me, her presence radiating authority. Her deep sapphire skin shimmered under the sunlight, and her elongated features held an otherworldly beauty that was both intimidating and mesmerizing. A flowing robe of deep silver trailed behind her, embedded with luminescent patterns that pulsed rhythmically. I swallowed hard, my mind racing with questions. Then, the impossible happened. The alien queen's piercing violet eyes locked onto mine. In that single moment, the world around me seemed to still. Then, in an elegant, deliberate motion, she knelt. A collective gasp rippled through her guards and the onlookers who had gathered in the distance. The air grew thick with tension as an eerie silence settled over the clearing. I took a step back, my breath caught in my throat. Why? Why would a queen kneel before me? I wasn't a ruler. I wasn't a warrior. I wasn't even supposed to be here. A shiver ran down my spine as I realized that, whatever was happening, it was far bigger than me. And I had no idea what to do next. A forgotten connection. The silence that followed was suffocating. The alien queen, still kneeling before me, kept her head slightly bowed, her shimmering silver robe pooling around her. The warriors surrounding her shifted uneasily, gripping their weapons, but none dared to speak. The sheer weight of their gazes pressed down on me, demanding an answer I didn't have. My heart pounded in my chest as I took a cautious step forward. I don't understand, I muttered, my voice barely above a whisper. The queen lifted her head slightly, her violet eyes meeting mine once more. This close, I noticed faint iridescent markings running along her forehead and down her temples, pulsating like living ink beneath her skin. She studied me with something between reverence and sorrow. Then, she spoke. You have returned. The word sent a chill through my bones. Her voice was melodic yet commanding, carrying an accent I had never heard before, soft, fluid, yet undeniably powerful. The phrase echoed in my head, raising a storm of questions. Returned? I had never been here before. Had I? A murmur spread through the gathered warriors, and within moments, 2 of them stepped forward. They wore armor more ornate than the others, adorned with gleaming silver etchings that resembled constellations. One of them, a broad-shouldered warrior with midnight blue skin and piercing white eyes, spoke first. This cannot be. The prophecy foretold your return, but we did not think it would be so soon. My mouth went dry. Prophecy? The second warrior, a lithe figure with golden bronze skin and a high, intricate headpiece, nodded. You are the Skyborn one. The one who vanished long ago. And now you stand before us once more. A cold wave of dread crashed over me. I had no idea what they were talking about. I think you've got the wrong person, I said carefully, raising my hands. I'm not some Skyborn one. I'm just an explorer. A scientist. The Queen finally rose to her feet, her towering form casting a long shadow over me. You bear the mark, she said softly, her gaze dropping to my left wrist. I frowned, instinctively rolling up the sleeve of my jumpsuit. What I saw made my breath hitch. There, etched into my skin, was a symbol I had never noticed before. A delicate, glowing pattern, 3 interlocking rings with a small starburst at the center. It wasn't a tattoo. It wasn't a scar. It was something else entirely. And it was glowing. I staggered back. What the hell? The warriors and the onlookers reacted instantly, gasping and whispering in their strange, melodic language. Some dropped to one knee. Others pressed a fist to their chest. The Queen exhaled slowly, her expression unreadable. You have forgotten. I don't know what you're talking about. I snapped, panic creeping into my voice. I'm not from here. I was born on Earth. But even as I said it, doubt crept into my mind. I had always felt different. Out of place. As if something was missing. Could that something have been this? A sudden sharp pain lanced through my head, and my vision blurred. Images, flickering, fragmented, flashed through my mind. A city bathed in golden light. A throne made of obsidian and crystal. A voice whispering my name in a language I didn't recognize. I stumbled, clutching my head. The Queen reached out, steadying me with a firm grip. It will return to you, she murmured. In time. I shook my head, still dazed. No. No, this is a mistake. The warrior with white eyes took a step forward. If you are truly the Skyborn one, then there is much you must know. Come with us. I hesitated, every rational part of me screaming that this was insane. But deep inside, another part of me, the part that had always questioned where I belonged, whispered that I needed to follow them. Taking a deep breath, I nodded. Lead the way. The Queen turned, her robe flowing behind her as she led me toward the towering city. The warriors flanked us, their expressions wary yet respectful. As we crossed the threshold of the ancient civilization, I couldn't shake the feeling that my past, a past I didn't even remember, was finally catching up to me. The prophecy and the betrayal. The city swallowed me whole. Its massive spires loomed overhead, carved from obsidian and pulsating with energy like veins running through a living body. Bridges of light arched over streets paved with shimmering blue stone. Strange, bird-like creatures with translucent wings flitted between the towering structures, their soft chirps adding an eerie harmony to the ambient hum of the city. Yet, despite its alien beauty, the air was thick with tension. The Queen, whose name I had finally learned, Sarastala, led me through the grand gates of the palace, her movements fluid yet deliberate. The warriors flanking us, Commander Valak with his piercing white eyes and Advisor Lyrian with her golden bronze skin, exchanged uneasy glances. I wasn't the only one who felt it. As we entered the grand hall, a hush fell over the gathered figures inside, nobles, scholars, and officials who had clearly been waiting. They whispered in hurried tones, their gazes flicking between me and the Queen. Sarastala took her place at the center of the chamber, lifting a hand for silence. The Skyborn one has returned. The room erupted into chaos. A noble with dark emerald skin and sharp, angular features stepped forward, his expression cold. This is madness. His voice was clipped, authoritative. We have waited centuries for the prophecy's fulfillment, and you expect us to believe that this outsider, is the one? Valak stiffened, his hand resting on the hilt of his blade. Watch your words, Lord Zelrin. Zelrin sneered. Do you not see? This is a deception. A trick played upon us by the humans, just as they did long ago. My stomach twisted at his words. What do you mean, long ago? Lyrian stepped forward, her golden eyes studying me. The prophecy speaks of the Skyborn One, our lost ruler, who vanished into the stars and would one day return to restore balance to our people. I shook my head. That doesn't make sense. I was born on Earth. I have no memory of this place. Of any of you. Sarastala's gaze never wavered. Yet, you bear the mark. I glanced at my wrist again. The glowing emblem remained, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Zelrin scoffed. A mere coincidence. Or worse, a fabrication. The Queen's expression hardened. You doubt the will of the ancients? Zelrin spread his arms. I doubt coincidences wrapped in prophecy, given to us at the very moment our enemies gather at our borders. My stomach dropped. Enemies? Valak turned to me, his face grim. There are those who do not wish to see the prophecy fulfilled. The Empire of Zoreth has already begun their advance upon our territory. Lyrian nodded. If you truly are the Skyborn One, they will come for you. They will seek to destroy you before you can claim your place. I swallowed hard. This was getting worse by the second. Sarastala turned back to me. You must reclaim what was lost. I took a step back. No, you don't understand. I'm not a leader. I'm not a warrior. I'm just a scientist. She tilted her head. Then tell me, why do you know our language? I froze. Because she was right. I had understood every word spoken to me. Not through a translator. Not through technology. I had simply understood. A sharp pain lanced through my skull again. Another flash of memory. A throne room. A war raging beyond the city walls. A desperate voice pleading, you must go. You must survive. I gasped, stumbling back. Valak reached out to steady me, but I shook him off. Zelrin's smirk deepened. The Skyborn One should remember. Yet all he recalls is fear. Sarastala's hand clenched into a fist. The past is not so easily unraveled. He must be given time. Zelrin stepped forward. Time is a luxury we do not have. And then I saw it. The faintest flicker of something in his eyes. Calculation. Malice. A cold realization settled over me. He didn't want me to remember. Because if I did, it would change everything. A sudden explosion rocked the chamber. The doors burst open as guards flooded in. We are under attack, one of them shouted. Zelrin stepped back, his expression unreadable. But I knew. This wasn't just an invasion. This was betrayal. And I was at the center of it all. War of Worlds. The explosion sent a shockwave through the palace, shaking the obsidian walls and sending shards of glowing crystal crashing from the ceiling. The assembled nobles and warriors scattered, some drawing weapons, others fleeing toward the exits. The sound of distant alarms wailed through the city like a chorus of mourning ghosts. Sarastala's cloak billowed as she turned sharply, her violet eyes burning with fury. Zelrin, what have you done? Zelrin didn't answer. Instead, he took a step back, his expression calm, too calm. You let a false king stand among us. And now, your foolishness has doomed us all. Before I could react, Valak lunged. The commander moved like lightning, drawing his curved blade in one fluid motion and slicing through the space where Zelrin had stood, only to strike air. Zelrin had vanished, his form dissolving into a haze of shimmering light. A projection. The real Zelrin was already gone. Sarastala cursed under her breath. He was stalling us. I didn't have time to process what that meant, because at that moment, the palace doors burst open, and chaos poured in. Armored figures flooded the grand hall, Zorathian warriors, clad in dark crimson plating that pulsed with a sickly glow. Their weapons hummed as they took aim. They were here for me. I acted on instinct. Ducking behind the shattered remains of a crystalline pillar, I barely avoided the first blast. The energy bolt sizzled past me, striking the wall and leaving a scorched crater in its wake. Valak barked an order, and the palace guard sprang into action, clashing with the invaders in a symphony of metal and energy. Blades met in sparks of light. Plasma fire scorched the air. Screams echoed through the chamber. I pressed my back against the ruined pillar, my breath ragged. Think, Elias. Think. I wasn't a warrior. I wasn't a soldier. But I knew how to survive. And right now, survival meant getting the hell out of here. Saristala's voice cut through the chaos. We need to move. Now. I turned to find her standing over two fallen guards, her hand extended toward me. Unlike before, there was no patience in her gaze, only urgency. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed her hand, and she pulled me to my feet. Together, we sprinted toward the palace's inner corridors, Valak and Lyrian close behind. The halls were in ruins. Fires raged along the walls, casting flickering shadows across the polished stone. The bodies of fallen guards littered the ground. And beyond the shattered windows, I could see the city itself, once a beacon of order, now drowning in anarchy. The Zorathians had come in full force. As we ran, my mind raced. Zelryn's betrayal hadn't just been political, it had been strategic. He had fed the Zorathians the perfect opportunity to strike, using my arrival as a distraction. And now, they were here to wipe me out before I could uncover the truth. A sudden explosion rocked the corridor, sending us sprawling. Smoke filled my lungs as debris rained down around us. I coughed, struggling to my feet, when a hand grabbed my arm. Lyrian. Her golden eyes were wide, her face streaked with ash. The Queen's sanctum, there's a way out. Saristala nodded. The catacombs. If we reach them, we can escape beneath the city. I didn't argue. Right now, the only thing that mattered was getting out alive. We ran. The sanctum was deep beneath the palace, hidden behind layers of intricate locking mechanisms that only Saristala could open. As she pressed her hand against the final gate, the metal rippled like water before parting, revealing a descending staircase carved from shimmering stone. We rushed inside. The moment we entered, the gate sealed behind us, silencing the sounds of war above. For the first time since this nightmare began, there was quiet. I exhaled, leaning against the cool stone wall. My mind was still reeling, but I couldn't ignore the growing feeling in my gut. I turned to Saristala. Tell me the truth. What am I? She met my gaze, and for the first time, there was hesitation in her eyes. You are the key. I frowned. The key to what? Valak stepped forward, his expression grim. To everything. Lyrian took a deep breath. To the war. To the throne. To the power Zorith seeks. My stomach twisted. You're saying this is my fault? Saristala shook her head. No. This war was inevitable. But your return has changed the game. You are the missing piece, our greatest hope, or our greatest danger. I clenched my fists. I wanted to deny it, to tell them they were wrong. But deep down, I knew they weren't. Something inside me was waking up. And I didn't know if I was ready for it. The awakening. The air in the sanctum was thick with expectation. The flickering blue light from the crystalline walls cast strange shadows on Saristala's face as she watched me, waiting. The key. That's what they called me. The missing piece. The catalyst for everything unfolding around us. But I still didn't understand why. I took a deep breath, forcing my thoughts into order. If I'm the key, then what exactly do I unlock? Sarastala exchanged a glance with Valak and Lyrian. It was Lyrian who finally spoke. The obsidian core. The name sent a shiver through me, though I didn't know why. Valak crossed his arms. It's the heart of our people. A power buried deep beneath this city, a power only the true heir can awaken. I scoffed. And you think that's me? Sarastala's voice was steady. We don't think. We know. I ran a hand through my hair. Look, I don't remember any of this. You're asking me to believe that I'm some kind of lost ruler, that I have the power to change the course of this war, but I don't feel any different. Sarastala studied me for a moment. Then, she took a step closer. Then let us find out. She turned and placed her palm against the far wall. A deep hum resonated through the chamber, and slowly, the stone parted, revealing a dark tunnel leading even further underground. Lyrian exhaled. There's no turning back after this. I hesitated, but something in me, something ancient, something buried, urged me forward. We descended. The chamber of the core. The tunnel led us to a vast underground chamber unlike anything I had ever seen. The walls were lined with intricate carvings, scenes of battles, rulers, and celestial bodies locked in an eternal dance. At the center of the room, a massive structure pulsed with dark energy. The obsidian core. It was massive, like a floating heart of blackened crystal, suspended in midair by unseen forces. Threads of golden energy wove around it, shifting and spiraling as if alive. And the moment I stepped closer, the mark on my wrist blazed. A jolt shot through me, sending me to my knees. My mind fractured, memories flashing before my eyes. A throne of obsidian. A war council. A promise made in blood. And then. Betrayal. A sharp gasp escaped me as I clutched my head. The memories poured in too fast, too strong. I had been here before. Not as a visitor. Not as an outsider. As its ruler. I looked up, my breath ragged. I remember. Sarastala knelt beside me. Then you know what must be done. I turned back to the core. It was waiting. Calling. Zorath was coming. Zelrun had sold us out. There was no escaping this war. But I wasn't just a scientist. I wasn't just a lost traveler. I was their king. And it was time to reclaim what was mine. The storm breaks. The moment my hand touched the core, the entire chamber erupted with power. Energy surged through me, burning, reshaping, awakening. The weight of my forgotten past merged with the present, and I felt it, true power. The walls trembled. The carvings glowed. The city above us responded, its defensive barriers surging back to life. And in the distance, through the vast networks of my mind that had been dormant for so long, I felt them. Zoratha's fleet. They were coming. But this time, we were ready. I turned to Sarastala, Valak, and Lyrian. My voice was no longer hesitant. No longer uncertain. It's time to end this war. And as we ascended back to the surface, I knew, this was only the beginning.